got this. Just to introduce myself, I'm Sarah. I am the conference manager here at GreenBiz, and I'm going to be helping with the logistics for the event. Thank you all so much for speaking at GreenBiz 21. We're really excited. Unfortunately, we can't convene in person, but we have been using Hopin, this virtual event platform, for our last few events, and it's been going really well. So very excited for GreenBiz 21. At the end of this call, we're going to have a chance for all of you to go into Hopin and test it out just to make sure that you're able to get in okay and that your audio and video is working well. So we have this test event that we created, and there's a link for that in the calendar invite that Yanni sent out for this call right now. So you can go ahead and just look at that calendar invite, click on that link and register. It just takes a couple of seconds. And we'll go ahead and do that at the end of this. And then for the first half, I'm just going to show you what Hopin looks like and share my screen with you so you can see what it's going to look like as a speaker on the day of the event. If you haven't yet registered for GreenBiz 21, please be sure to do so now. Registration is free for all of our speakers, and it's pretty quick and easy. You'll just have to create a Hopin account as well. And please be sure to fill out your profile on Hopin because that's going to be visible to our attendees. So we want to make sure that you have a headshot and a short bio in there for people to see. A few other notes: in order to access Hopin, you have to be using an up-to-date version of Chrome. Firefox works as well, but Chrome is definitely preferable. Safari is not compatible with the platform. So that's kind of the first troubleshooting tip that we give to people if they're having issues, is just make sure that you're using Chrome and that it has been updated to the latest version. And then to access your session on the day of the event, where you either have received or you will be receiving this week a calendar invite for your session from my colleague Yanni. And in that invite, there's going to be a link that will take you directly to your session on the day of the event. If you click on that link this week or before the event and it doesn't take you to a session, don't worry about that. It's just because you're not able to access it before the event begins. And then last thing, I already mentioned this, but just register for the test event, please, if you haven't done so yet. So I'm going to go ahead and continue sharing my screen, and I'm going to show you what Hopin looks like just so we can get a better sense of what this will be like. So when you get into Hopin, this is what it's going to look like on the day of the event. And then for our test event right now, this is what I'm using currently. So this is just the reception page. And on the left-hand side here, you can see there's a few different components. So we have our main stage where our keynotes will be taking place. This is where all the sessions are. So attendees access breakouts by clicking on that. And then we have some networking in our expo here. So for our purposes, we're going to go into sessions. For this test event, I have 4 different sessions, so you'll join the one according to your last name at the end of this. And this is similarly what it's going to look like on the day of the event for attendees. So I'm going to just join this one right now. And you'll see here that there's this blue box that says ask, or for speakers, it's going to say ask to share audio and video. When you join your sessions on the day of the event, there's going to be a tech manager, which is a GreenBiz staff member who's going to be in each session that's just helping out with any tech issues that might come out for attendees and for speakers. So just making sure that everything's running smoothly. So they will be on screen here to greet you. Once you click this button to share your audio and video, it'll send a note to our tech manager and they'll let you on screen. So when I click this here, you're going to see that you have this window that pops up to choose your audio and video settings. So you can select which microphone you want to use in which video. You can also test your stream quality, which is really useful just to make sure that you're in the good or the great range. And then you'll just hit apply, and then you'll pop up on screen. To show you around this screen here, so up here you can see this says 1 of 15. So this is just showing you how many speakers are currently on screen. To the right of that, it says 2 people are currently viewing this session. So that's just how many attendees are in your session. So you'll see that number start to go up as attendees start to filter in. And then to the right of that is the leave button. So at the end of your session, you'll just click this and you'll get a little warning before you leave the session. Down at the bottom here, so similar to Zoom, this is how you can turn your video on and off. You can mute yourself by clicking this button. We do ask that all speakers have themselves muted when you're not speaking, just to reduce any background noise, because that can get pretty distracting for attendees. And then to the right is this is a screen share button. So when you click on this, if you have any slides or a presentation to show, you'll go ahead and select share screen. And then you have a few different options that'll come up here. You can either share your entire screen or you can do an application window or a Chrome tab. If you have your presentation in Keynote or PowerPoint, it's going to be best for you to select application window. So you can see here I have my Keynote and I'm just going to go ahead and share it. And then depending on what your setup is like, if you have two different screens, then you'll be able to see your slides on one screen and see yourself and Hopin on the other. But if you just have one, your slides are going to take over the screen. So just be aware of that. And then make sure that you go into presentation mode. And so as the attendee, this is going to look like that, but they'll see them filling up the entire screen. And the attendees have the option to view this however they'd like. So they can either have your slides be the larger window, they can double click on your face to make that larger, or you can have it just be side and side, side by side like that. When you're done sharing, you can just hit stop sharing. If you have your slides in a Google Slides, then the best is going to be to do Chrome tab here and select your Google Slides. If you're sharing any audio, you have like a video in your presentation, just make sure that you do select share audio in the bottom left there. So same thing here, you just go ahead and share and then present, and you can go through your slides this way. To the right here, this gear icon, this is just how you can adjust your settings again if you need to at any point throughout the session. And then over on the right-hand side, so this is our chat box. We have a overall event chat. So this will be very busy throughout the event. So just make sure that you have sessions selected. And then as speakers, this is how you can communicate with the attendees who are in your session. So you can just type to them here. Attendees are definitely going to be asking you questions. So if you're a moderator, just make sure that you're paying attention to this chat box and grabbing any questions from here that you want to ask the speakers on screen. And then you'll notice there's a polls button here. So we do have a feature to create polls and questions. This is only available for moderators. So I recommend that you just touch base with your panel beforehand and figure out if you have any polls that you do want to create for your audience, and the moderators can go ahead and do that. You'll be able to create polls throughout the session. You can create these at any time, or you can go in beforehand, but only after the event begins. So on Tuesday morning, if you're speaking later that day or on Wednesday, you can go ahead and go into your session early just to create the poll. So that's all set up for you. Really simple to do that. You just go ahead and select create poll, and then type in your question and the answers. And that will go through to everyone in the session. And then if you want to show the results at any point, you just select this button, show results, so all the attendees can see the results. This people icon to the right of that, this is where you'll see all of the people that are currently in your session. So you can click on somebody's name, and I can either send a direct message to Ashish, or I could invite them to a video call or schedule a meeting with them. So these are just a couple like networking features that we have, and this would send a notification to Ashish within Hopin. This is also how you can chat with the speakers in your session if you want to. You're not able to create a group or anything, so if you do want to have a group chat going, I would recommend just doing an email or text thread or something. And yeah, there we go. She's just typing. Cool. That's pretty much it. So for beginning and ending your sessions, Hopin doesn't have like a countdown or anything. So we do ask that the moderators are really keeping track of time. When it's time for your session to begin, just make sure that you go ahead and get started. We are going to ask all of our speakers to join their sessions early, 15 minutes early. So Yanni's sending out these calendar invites for 15 minutes before your session. Just make sure that you do join early so you're able to get situated on screen here and make sure everything's working well. And then 5 minutes before the session is when it's going to go live for attendees. So they'll see all of the sessions taking place on this session's icon 5 minutes before, and they'll start to filter in. And so you'll see this number go up, but just make sure that even though your session may not have technically begun, you're aware that attendees are able to see you on screen. So just something to note. And then at the end of the session, just please be sure to wrap up on time. So we just want to be respectful of all the other sessions that are taking place afterwards. So make sure to end your discussion, and then if you have any remaining questions or anything, you're welcome to stay in the room and answer those with attendees. And it's not going to boot you out or anything. We're not able to share attendee lists with speakers afterwards just because it's a privacy violation on our part. We don't want to be giving out everyone's email addresses. So if you do want to communicate with attendees, we recommend that you just put your contact information in the chat box so that they can contact you afterwards. And if you have any resources that you want to share, again, a good place to put that is in the chat here. You can also send them to us afterwards and we'll make those available for attendees. Last thing to note is that all of our breakout sessions are being recorded for GreenBiz. The roundtables are not going to be recorded. Those are more discussion based, but you'll see a red button up at the top here. This one is not being recorded, but it'll say recording, just so you're aware. And then we'll make all of those recordings available to all of our attendees a couple of weeks after the event so that they can access them. And that's how you lead the session. I will respond to any questions either afterwards or so when we do this test session, me and my coworkers can help answer any questions that you guys have.